Welcome to Cox OC Connection. I'm Lacy Kelly and this is Civic Connection. Today we welcome Lori Donchak, who is a director with the Orange County Transportation Authority and also a council member with the city of San Clemente. Welcome, Lori.
Hi, Lacy. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for being here. Well, I want to start with Measure M. I think residents in Orange County are familiar with Measure M and what it's done for our freeway system, but it's done a lot for transportation projects outside the freeway system. Can you share with us some of those projects?
Sure, I will. And for those that don't know, Measure M is the half-cent sales tax that was voted in 1990 and then again in 2006 as a way to make sure that Orange County has the absolutely finest transportation system in the country. And one thing I want to say before I tell you about the projects is the second time the initiative was put before the voters, 70% of us voted to continue with Measure M, and I give a lot of credit to OCTA for that because their mantra is promises made and promises kept. Yes. And you look around the county, you can see what's going on. Absolutely. So anyway, as I mentioned, you know, it's a half-cent sales tax, and it's worth about $15.5 billion in infrastructure and other projects in the county over the next few years. And to your point, most people think, oh, freeways when they hear that. But in fact, 43% of the money does go to freeways, but 25% of it goes to mass transit. So the buses we enjoy, the train transportation we enjoy, a lot of that is funded with our tax dollars. And then finally, close to a third of the money goes to local projects. And that's what I wanted to spend a few minutes on because, sure. You know, there's 34 cities in Orange County, plus the county itself. And OCTA believes in the philosophy that those closest to the ground have this sense of the greatest need. And to that end, they've made funds available for things like, I have a whole list, but let me just tell you, widening streets, adding turning lanes, improving sidewalks, bike trails, fixing potholes, and traffic light synchronization. And just for perspective, in the last year, $44 million went to the cities through formula funding towards some projects like that. And the one I wanted to spend just 1 minute on is traffic signal synchronization because that's been so successful. About $38 million has gone into improving and synchronizing traffic lights at 2,000 intersections in town. And so my city, San Clemente, happens to be one of the beneficiaries of that program. And a driver in my town can save 30% of the time on the road. They save money that they would have spent on gas idling at a red light, and they're doing something good for the environment because they're getting a straight ride through. So that's a great example of the pledge of keeping the promises, making the promises and keeping them.
Sure, excellent. Well, thanks for that explanation. That makes it very clear. One of the components of Measure M that's not so commonly known is its environmental component. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I'd be thrilled to talk about that. Thank you. Well, in a nutshell, part of Measure M is addressing the needs of the environmental community. And basically what OCTA decided is that when new freeway projects come forward, rather than dealing with the mitigations involved with projects like that on a piecemeal basis, they would do it on a comprehensive and very innovative basis. And so basically in Measure M2, there's about $300 million that have been put aside for environmental projects. And the money can be used either to acquire open space, to restore the open space once it's acquired. And then my favorite part of it is putting together a management plan so that future generations can enjoy the open space in Orange County that might have been given over to real estate development.
Nice.
Yeah, it is great. And one of the things I love about the project is that it gets wholehearted support from the environmental community. We have wildlife agencies, we have Cal State Fullerton, we have Army Corps of Engineer, some citizens, of course some OCTA staff and directors, and we sit down monthly to make sure that the environmental promise is kept.
Excellent. Can you give us some examples of what's been accomplished so far with regards to that program, like some specific areas within Orange County?
We've acquired 6 parcels totaling about 1,150 acres, primarily in Trabuco Canyon and Brea. And just for perspective, you know, if you're not a math person, 1,150 acres, that's like 10 Disneylands.
Got it.
So
okay.
Yeah, very,
that's
very,
huge.
And it's pristine open space. So this is where the bobcats are, where the mountain lions are, where the coastal sage scrub is. So these wilderness areas were purchased and otherwise might have been used for development. So it's a real nice piece of stewardship by OCTA. And we also have 11 restoration projects going forward that are bringing back natural wildlife and habitat to areas around the county.
That's spectacular. I didn't know about that. So then it sounds like these lands are accessible by the public.
They will be at some point. We're really early in the program right now, and in today's reality, OCTA is offering guided tours of some of the projects. In fact, in August, there's an equestrian event and a hiking event on the books. But the thing with open space is that it gets held to a very high stewardship standard. It's different than your normal park or recreational area. And our arrangement with the different wildlife agencies is that we maintain these strict standards. And if we don't, it could put some freeway projects in jeopardy by causing us to lose permits or slowing down the projects. In the longer view, as I mentioned, this management plan that will go on into perpetuity, we will be documenting access points and opportunities for the public to enjoy some of this incredible open space going forward.
That's exciting. Where can the public find out about that? Would
They
it be
can
through
go
the
to
website?
the OCTA website, yes, very good question, and just type in environment and environmental program or Measure M environment, and it's all right there.
Fantastic. Well, we just have a little bit of time left. Would you share with us what interested you as a council member in San Clemente in participating and volunteering on the Orange County Transportation Authority Board?
Well, I've got a lot of answers to that. District 5 is the gateway to Orange County. You know, many people think LA is where it's all happening, but San Diego is at the other end of the county. And I felt it was really important for to be a voice for District 5. And I have been consistently impressed as a council member by the culture and the level of fiscal stewardship that the OCTA provides to us. So
Absolutely.
That's why I signed up.
Well, we want to thank you for your service and for joining us today.
Great.
That's it for OC Connection. We'll see you next time.